be a little hard to see, but right there is the orange eco light, which normally indicates that the start-stop function of the vehicle is no longer working, which in most cases requires the start-stop battery to be replaced. These are the only tools that you will need in order to remove the battery. It's a 13mm socket, 10mm socket, some Bostic tacky gluey tape, similar to this little piece right here. And this is just for putting inside the 10mm socket to retrieve the nut from the bracket that goes across the top of the battery. And then you need a ratchet and an extension in order to reach down to the nut that's on the battery bracket. And that is all you need. This is on a 2016 Land Rover LR4 HSE. This is the procedure to remove the start-stop battery. The very first thing you want to do, which I've already done, is remove this cover that goes here. Now, here's where the battery is. And you got your negative and positive. You got a little safety cap over your positive. And then there's also a tube on this side of the battery. And there's also a hold down. The only socket that you'll need is a 10mm, and you'll need an extension to get to the nut that's down here at the bottom of the harness that holds the battery in. But 10mm. You don't need to take the nut all the way off. Set that aside. This little cap on the positive terminal is a little bit of a pain to get off. You got something similar to that. You can use it to pop the cap off. It almost seems like it's not meant to come off, but you would have to take it off to access the 10mm nut. Again, you don't have to remove the nut completely. Move that out of the way. Then you have to be able to reach down there. In order to prevent that nut from falling off the socket, what you can do is, if you have anything similar to like this Bostic tape, it's a tacky tape. What I do is take a little piece of it, and it's better when it is warmer or warm. And then what you do is put the socket on the nut. Pull the socket out, the nut is stuck on the socket instead of falling inside. But even if it did fall inside, it's not that big of a deal, because you're going to be taking the battery out, which will give you access to the nut. But it's better to be safe than sorry. Alright, so remove this, and then to get the battery, you do want to remove this tube here. And then once that's out of the way, you can lift the battery out. Not all batteries are going to come with this little jacket. And it's got some double-sided tape on it, but there's information about the battery that you may want. So in this case, this is a CX23-10C655-AC, 12 volt, 14 amp hour, and 200 amps. And it is an AGM battery. If you're under warranty and you need to have this battery replaced, it's not that big of a deal, because you may not even realize what the cost is, but you go in to have this battery replaced, be prepared to pay a lot of money to not only purchase the battery, but also have it installed. This battery, you can get it anywhere from $100 to $300. Seems that it's dependent on where you get it from, who you get it from. If you can get it away from a dealership, you'll pay less. As a side note, because this is not the main battery that's being pulled out, this is strictly your start-stop eco battery, and taking the battery out is no different than the battery being dead. So taking it out has no impact on the car to be driven or started or left running. The car will still function without this battery in it. This is the vehicle running without the start-stop battery on it. So as you can see, the vehicle's still running. This is how you put the start-stop battery back in your vehicle. You get your negative terminal here, and then your positive terminal. You have the where it connects to the post right here. What you are going to do is in here, and there is a venting tube right here. It needs to go into the side of the battery. That is on there, and you don't want to connect your positive or negative terminals yet, because you have to put the bracket on that holds the battery in place first. And then you got to get this 10mm nut down inside there. For situations like this, I always keep a little bit of this Bostic gluey tape. It's not permanent, but it allows the nut to stay on the socket, and you put it in there. Otherwise, you may drop the nut down inside and pull everything out to get to it. Just easier to do it right the first time. So it's firmly in there. Now my battery cables, connect the negative battery terminal first. Make sure it's nice and snug. And put positive terminal on. This positive safety cap, snap that on there, and then this cover goes back over the fuse just like that, so that's good. And then the last thing to do is put the little foam cover over it, and that is it. The start-stop battery is reinstalled.